Hey everybody, Blugoblin here on my blugoblinX channel to go through a Midtown Comics stash. Look, I got a humongous pile to run through, and I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as I possibly can, because I don't want this to be a 2-hour video of just me yapping and yapping. Let's just run through these as fast as we can. We're going to go through, start with Legendary Comics. We're going to start with issues 2 and 3 of Apocalypse. This is pretty interesting stuff here. I like this. I like the direction where this particular series is going. You know, when I read issue 1, I got the feeling that, you know, this could be what humanity and society or what the world could be like if we let machines, you know, and things take over. But I got a bit of a different feeling in these two issues. You know, all kinds of things are happening. You got people from other times. And here, it's basically people from different times, different eras, different, you know, from past, from different eras of the past, different eras of the present, different eras in the future, all culminating together in this one specific period and everything. And that's interesting. I like where they're going with this. I really enjoyed these two issues. Really nicely done. Moving on to DC Comics, we're looking at Mortal Kombat X #1. Oh my god, this was amazing. This was fantastic. I love this cover. Scorpion, my favorite character. This was awesome. Do yourselves a favor. If you grew up with Mortal Kombat, whether it was from the original game in the 90s or whether you're playing it now, do yourselves a favor. Get this book. Get this book, read it, love it, enjoy it. This was awesome. Fucking amazing. I loved it so much. Moving on to Boom Studios, we got RoboCop number 7. We get to see RoboCop really shine in here. Minor spoilers here. RoboCop gets an upgrade, and it's a good one. And then we get to see just how obsolete his so-called replacements are in here. And he gets his peace back. This was astounding. This is one of the best series I've read from Boom Studios. And I've read several other titles. But man, this was incredible. Really, really good shit. I love this. Do yourselves a favor. I got to thank Chris for RoboCop alone. But do yourselves a favor. It's not too late. I'm only on issue 7. I don't know where the actual issue number is right now. But this is easily one of the best comic book series you can read if you love Boom Studios or if you love independent comic books outside of the big two from Marvel and DC. This is amazing. Amazing stuff. Going to IDW with Edward Scissorhands #3. I like the fact that the covers look like the Tim Burton movie, but the interior looks like a Tim Burton cartoon. Gee, where have I seen that before? Beetlejuice. You saw Beetlejuice in the theaters, and then you saw Beetlejuice the cartoon. This feels exactly the same way. You see the movie, but when you look inside, you see the cartoon. But this cartoon is a cartoon not meant for kids. I guess it is, but it depends on what your kid can handle, I guess. But in here, things are getting kind of serious, especially with the little friend that Edward created. This was good stuff. I really recommend this. Awesome. Moving on to Grim Fairy Tales. Masumi, Blades of Sin #1. It's a Zenoscope book, so you know there's going to be boobs galore. But this was a solid beginning to a miniseries that's going to involve a lot of action. It's going to involve a lot of drama. That's going to involve a lot of breasts. But I'm loving it. This was good stuff. Not much else to say about this. I really can't complain. I actually loved this, and I hope Chris sends me the rest of it, you know, if he wants to. Solid beginning. I liked this. This was awesome. Alright, going on to Dynamite. We got issues 3 and 4 of Lady Rawhide. I was kind of hoping he would send me these. Issues 1 and 2 were great, and then I got to read these. These were really good. You get to see Lady Rawhide. You know, he's basically, you know, at first I thought she was going to be like basically like a Spanish or Mexican Robin Hood kind of girl and everything, but you know, she's, you know, fighting for the little people who are bullied by the government and everything. I thought this was good. My only problem is that Chris hasn't sent me the fifth and final issue yet. I'd like to know how this storyline concludes before, you know, Chris told me he was going to send me, he's considering sending me Lady Rawhide and Lady Zorro crossover event. But before I read that, I'd like to see the fifth issue. You know, if he wants to, I'm not going to force him to send it to me, but I'd like to read it. But this is really good stuff. I really enjoyed this. Lady Rawhide, she may have a, you know, a sexy chick kind of look, but don't underestimate her. Don't let that look fool you. She's badass, and I really loved this. Oh my God. Shaft number 2. Fuck yes, this was amazing. This is the kind of down and dirty controversial shit that you should be reading if you're an adult comic book reader like myself. Dynamite just kicks ass with this series. I'm only 2 issues in and I'm already fucking excited for the next issue, which I have, but I haven't read it yet. But man, you talking about ballsy writing and good action. I mean, this is good stuff. Forget about the Sam Jackson remake shit. This is, you want to talk about Shaft, you think of the original Shaft from the 70s and you come to this, everything's there. Everything that made Shaft work then works here. This was great. Consider this Shaft 2. Fucking awesome. Going to Valiant with Ivar Time Walker. I didn't know what to think about this one, to be honest. I was kind of going, apparently this guy can travel through time, but there's a catch. He has to do it at specific moments. When a time window opens, he has a limited amount of time to get through it, or he'll be stuck where he's at. So, you know, when they say Time Walker, it's kind of literal. He has to keep walking through time if he ever wants to get back to a proper time period. And he picks up somebody who he tells is going to change the way time is done and everything like that. This wasn't bad. I was kind of going a couple times with it, I'm not going to lie. But not bad. I actually liked that. Sticking with Valiant, we're going to Dr. Mirage number 5. This was kind of a bittersweet ending to the series and to this storyline, because both Dr. Mirage and her husband unfortunately know that when their mission is done, they have to permanently part ways. You know, how can you celebrate when you have to give up the one thing that you want more than anything else? And I really, really felt this. This was really good. A 5-issue miniseries from Valiant. I believe it's a 5-issue miniseries, but man, did it end kind of bittersweet. You know, the Doctor wins the day, and but you want to talk about a sacrifice. Man, this was good. This was really good. I recommend you get these 5 issues, give it a try, or get the trade, or whatever you got to do. But damn, this is solid reading. It's not, I don't think it'll be for everybody, but all I can say was it was captivating for me. I really dug it. Alright, next up, we're going to Dark Horse with Resurrectionists, number 3. Look, I get it. Resurrectionists is the name of the group who has been reincarnated to do all these, to do these crime spree and everything. I get that. It's just that the title just bugs me because it doesn't match the storytelling that you get in here. There is a strong difference between resurrection and reincarnation. This is reincarnation storytelling called a resurrection. It's two completely different things. A resurrection is somebody dying and being brought back to life, that same person. Whereas a reincarnation is somebody dying and then generations later, that same person is reborn as a different person. That's what we're getting when it's being titled after the other. But still, solid storytelling, really good. Kind of a couple of twists in here that I thought was pretty interesting. But we also get to see the main antagonist show up in here. And I want to double check something just really quick to make sure I got my facts right with this one issue. One of the main characters who has been reincarnated. Well, there's a couple of twists in here involving relationships between certain characters. But I just can't help but notice that the end of the issue ends with this big cliffhanger. Oh, a lesbian couple? Whatever. But nonetheless, it's just really good storytelling. I still have a problem with the name of the book. But solid stuff nonetheless. Going back to Dynamite with The Lone Ranger Vindicated #3. Excellent work. Excellent work. The only thing I haven't seen yet is Lone Ranger showing off his silver bullet shooting style. You know, yeah, just throwing a can in the air, take a bunch of silver bullets. Ping, 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 ping. You know, that's the only thing I haven't seen yet. Everything else is just really good. I just can't help but feel that they're possibly implying that the Lone Ranger's a virgin who's afraid of women. You know, because this girl right here is just almost like throwing herself at him, and he just doesn't see it. Or maybe he's too afraid to act on it. And even Tonto's calling him out on it, saying, man, you're blind. You just don't get it. But the rest of the, you know, this is just really good writing, really good storytelling, good action. I'm loving this. Fantastic stuff. IDW. Snake Eyes. Agent of Cobra. God damn, that hurt to say that. This is something I never thought I'd see. I'm serious. I never thought I'd see Snake Eyes work for Cobra. But, be that as it may, this was amazing. You get to see Snake Eyes. He's doing a favor. He's now working with Destro, who has been betrayed by Cobra, yet still somehow works for Cobra. I don't know. But he has a special mission for Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is tracking someone down. And by the end of the issue, we find out who that is that he's tracking down. I'm going to spoil it. I feel like I have to. He's going after Cobra Commander's son. Oh, man. This was awesome. Loved this. Alright, going to Image with Rain #1. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff. Your standard beginning to what could look like your standard, you know, warrior swashbuckling adventure and everything, but there's all kinds of stuff in here that's kind of tweaked and twisted, like the lizard snake men. They looked fucking awesome in here. But this character Rain, in some parts of this issue, he's in a bar, he's in a tavern, shit's going off the scale with other people in this book, and he's just sitting there just going, look, I'm just trying to have a drink and just trying to relax here, don't bother me. And then by the end of the issue, he's like, oh fuck, I guess I'll fight after all. I mean, nice. nicely done. I thought this was a solid beginning of this series, and if Chris wants to send me more of this, I'll be happy to read it and be happy to share my thoughts on it. I thought it was a solid beginning of this series. I really enjoyed this. Next up, we're going back to Dynamite with all 4 issues of Lady Zorro. Hot damn. I actually enjoyed this more than I did Lady Rawhide. You want to talk about a series where a character shines but is not showcased perfectly? Here you go. This was amazing. The series starts off with her getting a request from Zorro, and all kinds of shit goes on in here. She finds the man who murdered her family, but what she does to him to get back at him, oh, wow. This whole series was amazing. Just really good stuff. I loved it. This was so good. I'm just itching for that next, for the Lady Rawhide, Lady Zorro crossover miniseries. I'm itching for it because this was fantastic. And for this alone, Chris, I say thank you. This was great. Alright, we're going to Marvel. Starting off Marvel with Ant-Man #1. Here it is, folks. Ant-Man. I'm finally reviewing Ant-Man. This was awesome. Was this worth $5? I would have paid $5 for this. But, you know, Chris knows my funds are limited, and he's helping a friend out, and I appreciate that. This was amazing. An amazing start to the series. This is Scott Lang, and coming to grips with, you know, trying to find a job. He's trying to maintain his relationship with his daughter, with Cassie. It's nice to see Cassie Lang again, you know, even though she's not really, character development-wise, she's not really built up as, you know, as strong as she once was when she was, I believe, Stature. But all in all, this right here, the main focus of the story is his relationship with Cassie. And it ends with that strong sentiment is, it doesn't matter how wealthy you are, it doesn't matter who you know, it doesn't matter how powerful you are, it doesn't matter, you know, where you've been and compared to where you are now. What matters is, if you're a parent, you have a child, you stay a part of that child's life no matter what. And I thought this did a great job of telling that lesson, even though I don't think it was told perfectly. Thought it was really, really well done. A solid read. I enjoyed this. Captain America and the Mighty Avengers #4. Ewing, Ross. Oh man. Just solid stuff here. You know, you got the inverted Avengers are seemingly no longer inverted. It's basically the inverted Avengers trying to reestablish their name, trying to reestablish their connection with all their friends and everything. It's just, most of this issue felt like a bunch of apologizing and felt like a bunch of regret and everything, but still it was written very well. I no complaints. I enjoyed this for what it was. Oh, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, somebody asked me a question not too long ago about what is my average score for a book from Midtown. I don't tend to give scores for a Midtown comic book because, well, for one thing, I didn't buy them, and for another thing, you know, it just, since I didn't buy them, I don't feel like there's necessary to do picks of the weeks or score ratings for the Midtown Comics stashes. But if I had to give them each an average, if I had to give an average score rating for Midtown Comics stashes, most of the books that I read from Midtown, majority of them, probably a little more than 90% of the books I've read from Midtown Comics that Chris has sent me, gets at the very least a 3.5, but definitely higher than that. I have yet to read a book from Midtown Comics that goes anywhere below a 3.5. But yeah, it's like over 90% of the books I get is like a 3.5 or higher. I mean, some of these books are just fantastic. But we're going to stick with Marvel. We're going to Deathlock #4. Jesus Christ, this is good shit. This is good shit. I'm loving this stuff. You got a mercenary who's not aware of it, and it's just really good stuff. But S.H.I.E.L.D's coming down on them and everything, and they're like trying to get me Maria Hill. But all in all, the new Deathlock has got his hands full with his missions and everything. I'm like, God, this is phenomenal writing. This is good stuff. Espionage, assassins. Fuck, if you love that kind of stuff, you will love this series. This is amazing. Moving on to Guardians 3000, number 4. The Guardians survive a humongous attack, but just barely. I mean, and just all kinds of crazy shit's going on in here. We get the arrival of Nova in here, the last Nova member, the last known Nova in here. Plus, we get a big kind of dun-dun-dun-ish kind of cliffhanger at the end. Solid stuff. I like this. Alright, next up. First 2 issues of S.H.I.E.L.D. based off the TV series, which I haven't watched, so I don't know how to compare it to the TV show. But Mark motherfucking Magic Wade is writing this. Oh my god. He knows how to write Phil Coulson. Or son of Cole. But the first issue is basically your basic introduction to Coulson and what he does, what he's done in S.H.I.E.L.D., what he's done before S.H.I.E.L.D., and what he's doing now in S.H.I.E.L.D. He's basically built up like the ultimate Marvel fanboy who happens to work for S.H.I.E.L.D. And in issue 2, he meets probably one of the bigger ultimate Marvel fangirls in Ms. Marvel. But both issues were fantastic. Both stunning writing, great artwork, good character development. This is really good stuff. I really loved these 2 issues. Moving on to Star Wars number 1. Yep. I loved this so much. Now, Chris sent me issue 2 as well, and I'll review that when I get a chance to. But I loved this issue so much that I told him, take Star Wars off my pull at Midtown Comics. I'm going to start buying it here. I'm going to be getting Star Wars here. Plus, I'm getting Darth Vader, and I'm also going to be getting Princess Leia here. I want to invest in these Star Wars comics. That's how much I loved this first issue. This introductory issue. We get to see what's going on with Luke and the gang after the events of episode 4. But man, all this stuff's going on. It's like there's actually a moment in here where Chewbacca has a clear shot at Darth Vader. Somebody, and I'm not going to go into heavy spoilers here, but somebody says take the shot, and then somebody else says don't take the shot. Chewie doesn't take the shot, even though he has a clear shot. Clearly Chewie could have probably taken out Darth Vader, but the thing is, could Vader have sensed the shot coming? That's the other question, but we'll never know. But the issue ends with Luke coming face to face with Darth Vader. Oh, man. We actually get to see that Luke and Vader have actually crossed paths before the events of The Empire Strikes Back. And this was such an amazing issue. The artwork from Cassidy was astounding. Jason Aaron's writing was awesome. This was fan-fucking-tastic. I loved it. Moving on to Storm, number 7. Storm has basically, in a sense, going rogue. Where I'm not talking about acting like rogue. I'm talking, the term going rogue. Where she's going to do whatever it takes to find out what's going on with her, who's framed her and everything. And this issue right here was a showcase of don't piss off Storm. That's all I need to say. This was awesome. Alright, moving on to Tony Stark's a Dick, number 3. Or number 4, excuse me. Superior Iron Man, number 4. But yeah, it's Tony Stark's a Dick, number 4. Tom Taylor. You may have heard that name before. Previous writer of Earth 2 for DC. Now he's working for Iron Man. Ooh. This was good. But my God, what Tony does to Daredevil in here, I just went, fuck you, Tony. Ooh. Good shit. Loved it. Hey, baby. I'm almost done with this.
Okay.
Food?
Uh-huh.
Alright, I'll be right there. Ending this review with Thanos vs. Hulk, number 2. Oh, boy. Thanos is like in this space where he's actually able to talk to both Bruce and the Hulk. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm wondering who is going to be built up as the more powerful antagonist in here. Is it going to be Thanos or is it going to be Annihilus? Because in my opinion, it should be Thanos because the title of the damn book is Thanos versus Hulk. It just kind of makes, this issue kind of made me feel like, okay, is Annihilus really that menacing? Is he really that powerful? Or is he just too big for his fucking britches? All in all, solid read. I really enjoyed this. And it was good to see Bruce and Hulk actually work together as one to overcome their obstacle in here. Really strong issue. I really liked this. Even though I'm not the world's biggest Hulk fan. So there's my latest Midtown Comics stash. And I'm sorry it took me so long to bring it out here. But there you go. Like I said, there's no set scheduling for this channel. Videos are done when they're done, and when they're done, they'll get uploaded. So, I'm just sorry it took me so long to get another one out. So, I hope y'all enjoyed that. Please subscribe to this channel. Don't forget my main channel, Blugoblin01. Look for me on Twitter, at Blugoblin01. Look for me on Tumblr, Facebook, whatever. Give my bro, the Mount Vernon Kid, some love. Give him thanks for sending me all this crap to read, because I'm loving this. Thanks again for watching, everybody. I'll see y'all later.